Sustainability Institute Reinvention Fund.
Farming, growing plants.
Becomes a nexus, a place where students of many interests come together.
For students to work on these farms and eat the food that comes from them, to volunteer or have an internship to work on the farm.
To reach as many students as possible.
A food systems minor being kind of going together with the student farm, and something that could be more fully integrated in the courses and the educational things that we do on campus.
Being a part of our own local food system through the actual production of food on campus.
Demonstrate the feasibility of restoration agriculture as opposed to like strip mining a monoculture.
Increasing interest and awareness in the project, as well as developing the vision for what people want to see in a student farm.
And it was, again, student-led, these discussions by various clubs, and a small group of faculty got together about 2 years ago and wrote a grant proposal to basically create the money that was needed to have a person basically work full-time on this project, and that person is Leslie Pillen.
So I started in my position as coordinator just about a year ago exactly, and so the team that wrote that grant proposal to the SI hired me to coordinate this effort.
I was involved in meetings or discussions trying to understand how to, the need to put together a cost estimate, for instance, so they understood, to help them prepare a budget, and ultimately to try to help them prepare a business plan that they could then take to administrators.
Everyone has some aspect of food that they're interested in, or some way that their own interests can somehow connect with the student farm.
It's given me a lot of life skills, with like different skills that I don't get in a normal class.
I'm hoping that we can create a place where we have that kind of cross-discipline discussion. We just don't have that resource at Penn State now, and it's a hole in, I think it's a hole in the quality of life on campus.
So I think Penn State really needs a student farm in order to teach agricultural students how to do these farming techniques like on a hands-on approach.
And it's just embarrassing the school doesn't have one.
We had a number of goals, like that the farm needed to be really walkable for students.
And it's on the Arboretum campus.
It is really walkable. It's very accessible for students without ready means of transportation. It's in that back acreage of the Arboretum. Recently, it's culminated in me preparing a really basic layout plan, you might call it, that just says, okay, here's the site that we're looking at the Arboretum, and what does it mean in terms of an acre of nut trees and 5 high tunnels and 30 acres of agronomic crops and that sort of stuff. How can all of that fit and best be arranged?
One of the big challenges is figuring out how to get it off the ground. How do we get the funding lined up to do it? How do we get the commitments and infrastructure and land to do it?
But it's called Rocky Top, is the nickname for it, and so there are rocks there, which maybe doesn't go as well at the farm as you might hope.
One of the challenges of the initiative is the size of Penn State. It is challenging to get the word out about new things to the tens of thousands of people.
Anything like this is just tough to get enough momentum to make something happen.
Being out in the cold and the heat, farming, like that's easy for me, but being in here like a good dog in meetings is not my native environment, but I'm willing to do it because I believe in this.
Another goal is to work with our community, to engage our community, to improve our communities through the project.
Students, interns, we could all collaborate on what I'm trying to do here, specifically with aquaponics and growing sustainable food. Even if you wanted to start selling some of your stuff at local farm markets, I'm not sure how many people would be opposed to that.
Do you think you would take advantage of it in terms of your curriculum?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Leslie came into one of my classes and kind of just talked about the student farm, and that sort of got me to a meeting.
I was walking between classes and a classmate invited me to a potluck that was being held down at some co-op house, and it's right up my alley, and started coming to these meetings, and I've been doing that most Thursdays for half a year now.
I've been involved in the Sustainability Institute's Reinvention Fund.
Through some contacts, emails, through the Sustainability Institute.
I have been involved with a number of campus food scene activities over the last 10 or so years.
Last semester, I was a freshman. I was going to the involvement fair for the first time, and I just walked by the stand, and someone said, "Hey, do you care about having a student farm? Are you interested in local food?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds cool."
You know, I think the interest is there.
We've had several one-on-one meetings, student meetings every Thursday night to better understand what people want the farm to be.
Students can be really involved in all parts of the student farm, whether it's talking with administrators or making sure that the student desires are voiced, or doing research projects or service projects that will further the farm. We're starting a student club next semester.
As of now, I would say the food systems minor I would anticipate might be able to start by fall of 2016. The farm is more difficult to say because it really is funding dependent. Obviously, I would love to see it up and running sooner than later, but
I just want money for mushroom people and grow mushrooms.
That the student farm has the potential to be way more cross-cutting than the community garden.
different people have so many different ideas of what they would like to see happen.
Will enrich the teaching environment.
I like going up to that site now, and there's nothing there. I can't imagine if there's something fun to do up there.
I also want students to be able to live on the farm when it's up and running, so it's just seamlessly integrated into their day.
Desire is there on the part of the students, faculty, and staff to make this like really flourish.